Okay, sorry about that. Somebody at the door. Yeah, I was just saying that the little mini flywheel that's in there goes round, and these catch, and every time it was going round, it was just knocking these little wire dogs. And I could see that they were just going to wear away eventually, so I had to file down the little flywheel that's in there, so that the top of the flywheel didn't actually hit these little metal dogs each time. So that was another little modification in there for longevity. Okay, so now we'll get down to the actual attachments. Okay, the first one, let's look at, yeah, the one I actually have modified is the Strimmer attachment. It's quite well built. All the mechanical parts work very nicely, so no problems there. But this being made out of plastic, and especially with having slots and things cut into it, it's just not strong enough to actually to survive. So as you can possibly see here, I stuck it in the lathe, took a channel out of the outside of it and put some carbon fibre in it, and that will probably last quite a long time. I mean, it started to split sort of in that sort of position, and there I could see that you know, with the centrifugal force it whizzing around all the time and getting battered, it would just fall to bits. And I notice now on eBay that you can buy 3 of those, I think, for about £12 or something like that. So it must be a fairly well trodden path. Excuse me. The other problem is that having such a powerful engine, this goes at a hell of a lick. It's a very powerful strimmer, and these pull like hell. So you're supposed to be able to just bump it, and when it's running, and the centrifugal force will pull these out and allow you to basically lengthen these automatically. Now I found that with this machine, the reels inside this is 2.4 mil stuff. I happen to have bought a whole reel of it donkey's years ago, and so I have enough to refill it whenever I need. But what happens is that when you wind it around the reel, that's fine, and you put it in, and it'll renew with the bump quite easily. But then after a bit, you'll find that these outside parts are pulled so hard that they've pulled under other filament rounds in the reel. So basically, when you bump it anymore, it won't renew. Now I saw somebody else on eBay who had said that if you actually wind the reel the wrong way round, that will get over this problem. So that's what I've done with this, but I haven't actually used it yet, so I can't be certain that that is going to work. So that's basically what's been wrong with this. There's plenty of room to put some grease in for maintenance and all that sort of stuff. But I haven't had to do that, and everything seems to run fine. Now, when I got this machine, I got various brush cutting attachments, of which this is one, and there's a whole bunch of kit that allows you to put it on there, which is probably quite easy to lose. But I've never actually had to use any of this, and I think it came with another blade as well, but I haven't actually had to. I haven't had to use any of that. So that's the modification I've had to do to that. The main thing is to actually, as I say, stop this flying apart and just breaking the plastic all breaking into bits. But as I say, you can get another 3 of these for I think 12 quid or something. So not too expensive to replace. Right, next thing is the Hedge Cutter. Right, this is the Hedge Cutter attachment, and it is extremely useful for doing high hedges, but it is a hell of a weight. I don't know what the weight that is, 4 kilos, something, or 3 or 4 kilos, something like that. And you're waving it around on the end of a 8-foot pole, you know, with the extension pole on it. So it's a real strain on your body and your back and your arms. But did I do anything to this? No, I can't see that I've had to actually modify anything at all. It's all as it was supplied. Haven't actually used it that much, but it works fine, you know. So that's that one. Right, the other one, which is awfully simple, is the extension pole, which is this one. Oh, yeah, they come with no caps. Now, of course, these are just magnets for getting dirt and grit in, and as you can see, that you've got splines in there, which makes the connection for the drive, and then you've got inside there you've got roller bearings, all of which will suck up dirt if you allow it. So I've used some bottle tops and a bit of masking tape just to protect the ends of them. This system isn't perfect, this joining system. It's sometimes difficult to get the things in and to align properly, but it does work. Right, and the last item is the chainsaw attachment. So this I've used quite a bit. It will run out of oil. You know, you do have to keep an eye on the oil. And when it's resting, because of the design of the oil pump in almost all chainsaws actually, it's not just a fault of this one. You know, when you leave it standing, the oil just gradually drips out. So if you possibly can, it's wiser, just as you can see here, there's no oil in the tank. And what I do when I finished with it, you know, you probably only use it a couple of times a year. You just empty the oil tank each time, because otherwise, if you leave it, sure as eggs are eggs, it will run out all over your your garage floor or wherever, whatever. And you can see here with the amount of wet oil, it's actually sort of runs down and gone into the guard. The chain on these is not standard chainsaw chain, unfortunately, and the sprocket is not a standard 5-star sprocket either. or 6-star sprocket. It is it's a slotted drive sprocket, and chainsaws usually work on a chain that is a chain slot, which is a pretty standard size, and this doesn't. This works on a bigger one, so the chain is slightly heavier, and the chain bar would be different to a standard chainsaw. So if you are renewing a chain or anything like that, you need to watch out for that, because it isn't standard chainsaw chain. But yeah, I've cut a little notch out so that fits. But apart from that, it's okay. You've got a little adjuster for the chain oil there, and you do have to watch your chain oil, because you're working well away from the chain, so you can't see when it's getting dry. You can only bring it down now and again and inspect it. But as I say, it's very unlikely you'll be using this for more than half an hour, because of the the weight of these attachments, and the necessity of using them probably if you're cutting high hedges and high tree boughs and things like that. You're using it a fair way away from you, so the weight is very considerable. And I think that is the last attachment. So that just should give you an idea, if you decide to go for one of these, how it's going to last and how it's going to be treated. I don't think it's going to last for the 35 years I've had my old little chainsaw there, but bearing in mind what you're getting for your money, it is a staggering buy if you can keep it running. So I hope that helps anybody who's thinking of plumping for one of these items. This was delivered quite quickly by courier over here, and my guess is that the Chinese sellers have warehoused a lot of them probably in the UK, and they just distribute them. But yeah, I'm reasonably happy with it, but I do have the engineering skills to be able to keep it running. So I hope that helps anybody else who's going down that route. Okay, cheers.